Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Stranger Things video for today. In this one, we'll be going over everything we know so far about Season 3. And spoiler warning, if you are not caught up for Stranger Things, which is up to the end of Season 2. So, Season 3, continuing along with the videos for Stranger Things for Season 3. And if you guys have any questions you'd like to submit for maybe a Q&A we could do this week for Stranger Things, write them in the comments below so we can discuss maybe some theories for Season 3, some things we'd like to see, or maybe some things about Season 2. So, Stranger Things, really love the second season, as you guys know. Looking forward heavily to the third season. Just cannot wait to get to see it finally when it does release. And I mean, if it's anything like the first two seasons, it should be damn epic, which is, I mean, it's pretty much a lock at this point that Season 3 should be great based on the first couple. So when can we expect it to release? When can we expect to see the third season drop on Netflix? There is no official release date as of yet. It actually has not been officially confirmed by Netflix, but it has been confirmed by the series creators, the Duffer Brothers. And of course, Netflix will want another season because Season 2 did so amazing. The ratings were through the roof, probably higher than any Netflix series ever. You know, with its second season, it's probably the biggest season of a show Netflix has most likely ever had. So, release date, we're thinking probably around the same time, 2018, so maybe fall. But it could even be pushed back further if some of the cast is involved with filming other projects and stuff, because some of the actors, actresses in the show are starting to get more notice because the series has become so popular and starting to get roles in some big budget Hollywood movies and things like this. So it could be a little tricky. So it could even be 2019. So let's hope they can get it done for us in 2018, and we will see it around next November, maybe Halloweenish type time like they did with Season 2. I would love to see it back then, and preferably the summertime, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it done by the summer. That said, they are starting filming on it pretty much right now, you know, midway through November, so things are starting to get rolling with the series, or production anyway is starting to get rolling. So what do we know as far as what we can expect to see happen in Stranger Things Season 3? So there's some interviews, and I'll put the link in the description below to nme.com. Right now, these are best source of information, because with Stranger Things, of course, you don't have like a comic book series or you know, novels or anything to base any kind of information on the future on. We have to go based on what's been said in interviews by the you know, the cast and crew creators. So first one is, so what do we think is going to happen in Stranger Things Season 3? So of course, a lot of questions after the Season 2 finale, where they're going to go from here, what they're going to do. But it sounds like it's pretty clear that the show will extend past Hawkins. It did say in an interview with Vulture, Ross said they're going to have to get the fuck, he didn't say fuck, so I'll just say it, fuck out of this town. So now let's talk about that for a minute. So they're going to have to leave Hawkins, it sounds like. And we started to see a little bit of this in the Divisive episode, The Lost Sister from Season 2, where you have 11 and she goes out to find her sister and everything. You got Callie, 8. So yeah, so it sounds based on this like they're going to have to leave. You know, they're not going to be able to stay in Hastings for the entirety of the show or for the entirety of these characters' you know, time in the show. That the characters are actually going to have to extend past Hawkins and probably have to leave. Now, what I'm thinking, and this is predictions and speculation, is probably them shutting down the agency, even though it sounds like it's a good thing because there were some very evil people there. Like Eleven's dad, or you know, father, the kind of mad scientist that was there in the first season. So even though there are some very evil people that were there, I'm thinking probably what we're going to see in Season 3, and this is just a prediction, is that maybe they were not 100% fully responsible for everything that was happening there. Maybe they kind of went there because they noticed something strange was happening, and so they went there to kind of figure out what was going on with this portal or something, or somehow accidentally invited some things in from the upside down, this other dimension that seems to kind of cross over at that point there with the gate. And you know, thinking kind of what we'll probably see in Season 3 is, because they're not there, maybe the gate will reopen, or somehow you know, things will start kind of passing through from the upside down into you know, this universe, and we'll probably see not having anyone there to control it or stop it. It could be pretty bad. So season 3 could be very exciting because there's no humans there to kind of control what happens. And of course, as we've seen, Hopper does not have much in the way of manpower. He does not have all that much to work with there. So it could be a little tricky for them, and maybe the fact that the agency's kind of left, it might make things actually worse. So that's what I'm thinking. Maybe they'll have to abandon ship. It'll get so bad. So that could be pretty cool to see if something like what happened in season 2 happens again. Maybe some kind of infestation or something. That'd be kind of cool, right? So then it goes on here. It says, but as the ominous final scene suggested, the Mind Flayer could still cause them hassle. According to the Duffer Brothers, they've shut the door on the Mind Flayer, but not only is it still there in the Upside Down, it's very much aware of the kids, and particularly 11. It had not encountered her and her powers until the final episode. Now it knows that she's out there. We wanted to end on a little bit of an ominous note. So that's what they had to say about that. And I do like kind of this idea, and I touched on this in my predictions video for Season 3, which is that the Mind Flayer may target 11 because it realizes how powerful she is. And of course, the Mind Flayer is a different kind of monster. It's not a physical 100%. So could it go after 11? Could it try to mind control 11, do something like this? I would think that would be something, in terms of motivations, I would think it would certainly want to. If you could get your hands on, if you're that kind of creature, that kind of monster, and you can't, physically, you don't really have like a concrete physical body or form. You kind of like a cloud shadow thing, like at best you're basically a shadow spirit. That can sometimes maybe burrow holes or what have you, dig dug or whatever, unless the dogs were the ones that did that in season 2. But you would think that the Mind Flayer would be very interested in trying to, go after 11 and, obtain her abilities and her powers for itself. Yeah, you would think so. So I'm very excited to see what the Mind Flayer has in store, and if it's going to be able to succeed in maybe taking over 11 in a similar fashion to how it took over Will last season. I think that could be pretty scary and pretty fearsome to see an evil 11. That could be something. So then it says here, 11's controlling father Papa reared his head briefly, hinting that he could return as the show's big baddie. 8, meanwhile, also looks like she's set herself up as the baddie as she uses her power for not so wholesome endeavors. So as far as her character, as far as 8 goes, I thought she was pretty cool in season 2. Personally, I don't know if I'd want to have her be the series villain and have her face L or some of the others in the series as villain later on. She kind of seems to me like an anti-hero, possibly. Maybe 11 can kind of pull her back a little bit from the things she's doing, show her maybe that she's not going down the right path. But I don't like her as a straight-up bad guy. I don't think she's fearsome enough. I don't think she's scary enough to go up there with a lot of the other Stranger Things monsters or villains that we've seen so far. And as such, I personally would not really like to see her like that. I don't think she's at that level to where you would want to have her be a big bad for the series. I don't think she's there. So personally, I would not like to see that direction. But I do like the idea of maybe you have an 8, you have an 11. Are there 1 through 7, and is there a 9 and 10 out there somewhere? Are there others after 11? Like as far as the numbers go, are there a bunch of others out there too? I think that's kind of a cool idea, which is kind of like maybe an X-Men type concept where maybe you have a whole bunch of others out there, like we said, possibly close to a dozen or maybe more if 11 is not the last one. And maybe they all have kind of different abilities and different things that they can do. And I think that would be cool for a couple seasons if they did something like that. And they had a whole bunch of them together, and maybe 11 realizes it might be best, or 8 does, to go out and try to find the others. So that would be kind of cool. So just, this is all speculation, not sure, but something like that. It says, after hyping up Stranger Things 2 as bigger and darker, the Duffer Brothers have promised no such extension. It's not necessarily going to be bigger in scale, Matt Duffer told IndieWire. what I am really excited about is giving these characters an interesting journey to go on. So not necessarily bigger scale and, you know, more monsters and more craziness and stuff like that as you go on season by season by season, but a more character-driven, interesting journey is what he has planned, and I like that. You know, I think that's good. I mean, I thought that the character stuff in season 2 was fantastic, especially near the end, especially between Eleven and Mike. That was, you know, very touching at the end of season 2. So, you know, I would like to see that as well too. It would be cool. It's always cool to have bigger and, you know, better and, you know, more crazy as far as the you know, the big effects and stuff go. Maybe you say the Mind Flayer was bigger than the Demogorgon, and maybe season 3 would have to be bigger than that. But you know, really important character moments, I think, is really what Stranger Things has done better than anything else, even though it's had a nice kind of mix. So, yeah, when will it be set? So this is some information from Collider. Sean Levy said that it's going to be set a year after Season 2's conclusion. So Season 2 concludes 1 year later. We get to see the start of Season 3. In terms of our time or world time, that's 1985. So this season coming up, Season 3, would be in 1985, which is pretty cool. They also suggested that the new episodes will have to deal with the kids growing up and puberty. They say, even if we didn't want to deal with puberty, we have to deal with it because our real-life actors are going through it. I think that's exciting because it forces the show to evolve and become something different every year, they told Entertainment Weekly. And, you know, I'd like to see that too. This is me speaking now. I'd like to see them kind of go through puberty, high school, that kind of stuff, because, of course, they're growing up year by year by year. And that, in combination with these Stranger Things elements to it, I think is very interesting. You know, what would it be like for 11 to go to high school? You know, like, how does that work? What does that look like? You know, when you get hormones involved here, and, you know, this kind of stuff going on. It's really cool stuff for sure. It's going to test their friendships, obviously, like Lucas and Max are together, but really when you're that age, how long do your relationships last? They usually last about 2 weeks if you're lucky. I think that's going to be fun to explore. So they're kind of, I want to say right there, they're kind of saying that probably the relationship between Lucas and Max probably won't last. I personally would think that the relationship between, you know, Mike and 11 should last the series. Hopefully they don't do some kind of like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Mike 11 thing where, you know, 11 is killed in the end or something to stop all the monsters or something, and then, you know, Mike loses or something. It'd be tragic, though, if that's how they wanted to end it. So we'll see what they decide to do with that and how the relationships go. I'm okay with pretty much anything, except I would not want to see Mike and 11 not together in the end. I would want to see the two of them together in the end. That's for me. And then it goes in a little bit about whether or not the entire cast will be back, because some of them do have some different things that they're going to be, you know, working on different projects, movies, stuff like this. But personally, I think they're probably going to be able to get everybody back. You know, I don't think it'd be, you know, I mean, if you have a chance to be in Stranger Things, you know, for a couple more years at least, I mean, I think that career-wise, that's going to be, you know, really big. I mean, you're going to want to do that. You're not going to want to, you know, pass up that opportunity for a B movie or something, or, you know, even if it is a bigger movie. But just, you know, Stranger Things being as big as it is right now, I think they'll be able to get everybody back without too much hassle. They're probably going to have the budget for it, I would think. You know, I don't think that will be a problem. So, and then basically it finishes up with talking a little bit about Erica, who is Lucas's little sister, if you guys remember, and maybe her having some more time in Season 3. So Ross Dever said, there will definitely be more Erica in Season 3. That is the fun thing about the show. You discover stuff as you're filming. We were able to integrate more of her in, but not as much you want because the story was already going. We got to use more Erica. So it sounds like he likes how that's turning out, and he wants to use the character more because that's kind of funny. That was one of the first things we said in the writer's room. So it's great stuff. So that's pretty much all we got so far. As we get more info, of course, I will do videos on it with you guys, you know, later on this year as we get closer. But yeah, it's probably going to be about a year until Stranger Things Season 3 hits. But man, I am excited for it. And like I said, send me any other questions you guys have or theories or what have you. And any other video suggestions you have as well, too, that you'd like to see from me for Stranger Things leading up to the 3rd season next year. That's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. You can do it. Bottom left. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon. As always, it's Trev. And I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.